The member for Solomon.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I was just gathering my thoughts as I was listening to the member for Wakefield, and I understand he's very emotional and he's upset because his party trashed the Howard government policies that worked, and that's had a significant impact on him because the Labor brand is trashed, and it's going to impact him in his seat come September. This MPI, Mr Deputy Speaker, focuses on the national security and the budget. We've heard members on both sides talk about the impacts on the budget and the national security, and I would like to just take a little bit of a different stance and talk about the budget implications, but also talk about my electorate that I proudly represent. I spoke on this issue a couple of weeks ago, and the boats just still keep coming, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I guess that's why I thought it was really important that I speak again on this very important issue. Now, managing Australia's borders is about balancing the need of those who flee their homes and embark on an often dangerous journey to travel here, with the needs of the Australian community and now the detriment that this budget overkill has left on the Australian economy. I've said many times in this place that it is of great concern to me that people smugglers exploit the vulnerable. And I remind the House that the Gillard Labor Government is implicit in this because they removed the border protection policies of the former John Howard's government that were proven to work. The Gillard Labor Government has had the opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to fix the border protection chaos that it's created, but it's done nothing except continue to give the people smugglers a product to sell. The Gillard Labor Government's policies have left our hard-working border protections, customs, defence personnel overworked and understaffed. And we now know that it's also the ASIO personnel that are also under pressure because there's a backlog of security checks that need to occur because of the spike in arrivals. Earlier today, I asked the Prime Minister a question in question time, and my question was, I remind the Prime Minister of the admission yesterday from immigration officials that 63 asylum seekers have escaped from immigration detention in the last year and that 25 are still on the run. And I asked the Prime Minister, could she guarantee that all these people had undergone ASIO security checks prior to their escape to the community? Well, there's probably no surprise here, but there was no direct answer from the Prime Minister, the one who is responsible for laying out the carpet for the people smugglers, giving them a product to sell. But you know what, Mr Deputy Speaker, the Australian people want answers, and they want this problem that Labor created, they want it fixed. They're sick of it. We now know from the Senate estimates that there's around 25,000 people expected to arrive here on boats. And the member for Wakefield said in his contribution that he wants the boats to stop. He doesn't want the boats here. Got some people looking in and waving at them. But we on this side also don't want, we want the boats to stop. We don't want people coming here illegally. So as I said, we now expect 25,000 people to arrive here on boats this financial year. And we know already that there's been 148 boats carrying over 10,000 people this year, courtesy of the people smugglers and the Gillard Labor Government. Now, people from my electorate ask me, what's the cost? And that's a very good question, one that I think that many Australians will be interested in knowing. Well, the cost of the Gillard Labor Government's failed border protection policies has cost taxpayers $10 billion. $10 billion, with $5 billion of that $10 billion being spent this year alone. I can only dream of what $10 billion could do in my electorate and those of my colleagues' electorates. I mean, it'd just be amazing. Imagine having money to spend on improvements in health, education, community safety, housing and childcare. I could do a lot with $10 billion. What about you guys?
Very much so.
But instead, this money is being spent on a policy that is clearly not working. Last time I spoke on this issue, a couple of weeks ago, I outlined the boats that are targeting the top-end waters, and there have been some new arrivals, and I think it's only appropriate to give the facts because we like to deal with facts in this place. So, in fact, after I finished speaking, about 30 minutes after my last speech, there was another boat that arrived in top-end waters. So I'll just go through the list again. On the 1st of January this year, HMAS Armidale intercepted a boat west of Darwin carrying 43 people. On the 28th of February, HMAS Launceston intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 33 people. On the 20th of March, HMAS Peary intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 78 people. 24th of March, HMAS Peary intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 41 people. On the 27th of March, HMAS Peary again intercepted a boat southwest of Darwin carrying 147 people. On the 3rd of April, HMAS Bundaberg intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 41 people. On the 9th of April, HMAS Ararat intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 73 people. On the 17th of April, HMAS Childers intercepted a boat west-southwest of Darwin carrying 78 people. On the 21st of April, HMAS Maryborough intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 67 people. On the 23rd of April, ACV Ocean Protector intercepted a boat north-northeast of Darwin carrying 65 people. On the 26th of April, HMAS Maitland intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 75 people. On the 3rd of May, HMAS Albany intercepted a boat west-northwest of Darwin carrying 160 people. On the 4th of May, ACV Botany Bay Endurance intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 105 people. On the 13th of May, HMAS Glenelg intercepted a boat at Coburg Peninsula carrying 11 people. On the 14th of May, ACV Triton intercepted a boat west of Darwin carrying 42 people. And on the 17th of May, HMAS Armidale intercepted a boat northwest of Darwin carrying 80 people. That's 16 boats targeting Darwin carrying almost 1,200 people. On top of these boats, we have another 310 people being transferred to Darwin for processing since the 14th of May. So on the 14th of May, we had 49 people transferred. On the 16th of May, we had 2 people transferred. On the 19th of May, we had 76 people transferred. On the 22nd of May, 85 people transferred. On the 23rd of May, 98 people transferred. Is it any wonder Territorians are asking me questions about the cost of the Gillard Labor Government's failed border protection policies? It's also the additional pressure is put on my electorate with the service providers. It's already hard enough to get service providers in the Northern Territory, but having extra people has put pressure on my electorate. We all know very well that every dollar spent on border protection policies is not money being spent on or in our communities. And so the people of Darwin and Palmerston in my electorate are telling me that they're tired of the Gillard Labor Government's failed border protection policy. They want it fixed, and they want it fixed now. So let me finish by saying that there is an alternative, Mr Deputy Speaker, for the Australian people. We have a choice, and that choice is to vote for the Coalition come September 14, because the Coalition has a plan, an alternative to mitigate the disastrous impact of the Gillard Labor Government has had on border protection policy. We've stopped the boats before, and we will stop it again. The Coalition will restore what the Labor Party abandoned, and that was a strong border protection regime developed by the Coalition as a priority to protect our nation's borders. The Coalition will reintroduce offshore processing of illegal boat arrivals as part of a series of measures to stop the boats and protect our borders. We will prevent this problem by minimising the numbers coming from both initial countries of origin and first asylum countries. We will disrupt the business of people smuggling and intercept the boats where it's safe to do so.
The member's time has expired.